Have you ever had two employees make the same exact mistake, but one becomes your future supervisor and the other becomes gone in 6 months? Same mistake, same company, same training. Most people say the difference was attitude or motivation. I don't. I think the real difference was the coach. Average leaders manage behavior. Great leaders understand behavior. Today, we're exploring one of the most misunderstood and most powerful skills a coach, instructor, manager, parent, or leader can possess: behavior modification.
Welcome to Coach's Corner. Where host, coach, and martial art instructor Travis Williams and special guests discuss philosophy, theory, and experience of being a coach.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner, where we explore the theory, philosophy, and science behind developing human potential. Whether you're leading a business, coaching a team, teaching martial arts, training employees, or raising children, the question is always the same. How do we help another human become capable of something they couldn't do yesterday? Leadership isn't about titles. It's about development. Every coach, parent, teacher, and leader modifies behavior. The question isn't whether we influence behavior, it's whether we do it intentionally or accidentally. There's a myth. You can't change people, and I disagree. Recruits become soldiers, white belts become black belts, struggling employees become supervisors. You cannot force someone to become someone else, but you can create an environment where the best version of them has a chance to emerge. Leadership isn't controlling people, it's creating conditions where growth is possible. Whether I was training dogs, teaching martial arts, coaching athletes, or leading warehouse employees, I kept asking, why won't they learn? Eventually, I changed the question. Why haven't I found the right way to teach them? And that changed everything. The standard should remain the same. The path to that standard should be individualized. B.F. Skinner gave us 4 tools, not 4 rules. The first is positive reinforcement. When you look at the positive, it's a plus sign. You're adding something, and reinforcement is to create a behavior. You add something desirable to increase a behavior. For example, publicity or publicly recognize an employee who solves a recurring problem. Recognition teaches the entire team what excellent looks like. Next is the negative reinforcement. If you look at the negative sign, it's a subtraction sign. So you're removing something to create that behavior. For an example, once an employee consistently demonstrates accuracy, stop checking every order, every pallet. Competence earns trust. Now we move to the punishment side. There's positive punishment. We add something to stop a behavior. For example, after repeated coaching on a critical safety violation, issue corrective counseling. Protect the standard, not your ego. Next is negative punishment. You remove something to stop a behavior. Pause someone's leadership development after repeated reliability issues until that trust is rebuilt. These are tools. Great coaches know when each tool is appropriate. Behavior is a symptom. One employee shuts down under pressure, and another can thrive. The behavior you see is rarely the whole story. Instead of asking, why did you do that? Ask, help me understand your thought process on why you did that. Questions create understanding. Understanding creates better coaching. Cognitive behavior therapy reminds us that behavior often begins with thoughts. There's a situation that leads to a thought, that leads to an emotion, that leads to behavior that comes with a result. Now, as leaders, we're not therapists, but we can learn to ask better questions. Ken Blanchard's situational leadership teaches that different people need different leadership styles. A new employee needs direction. A capable employee may simply need encouragement. An expert may need trust. Same destination, just different paths. So first, just observe, don't judge, look for patterns. Then try to understand, discover what's driving that behavior. Then intervene, choose the right coaching tool for that individual. Reinforce, and when you catch it, catch progress immediately. Evaluate. If behavior isn't improving, don't just question the employee, question your coaching. I once had an employee who rarely communicated problems until they became major issues. Most supervisors assumed they lacked initiative, but I asked a different question. What kept you from coming to me sooner? They admitted they were afraid of disappointing me. The problem wasn't communication. The problem was fear. I began recognizing every time they brought issues to me early, even if the news wasn't good. Within months, the communication problems disappeared. I didn't change the person, I changed the environment. The environment, therefore, changed the behavior. So remember, behavior is a symptom. Understanding is a diagnosis. Leadership is choosing the right intervention. People don't grow because someone yells louder. They grow because someone understands them well enough to challenge them appropriately. So my challenge to you, think of one person that you're developing this week and ask yourself, what behavior am I seeing? What may be causing it? Have I sought understanding before judgment? Am I using the right coaching tool? What behavior can I reinforce today? Don't try to change the person. Change your approach. Leadership isn't about getting people to do what you want. It's about developing people into what they're capable of becoming. I'm Travis Williams. This has been Coach's Corner. And remember, the standard is fixed. The path is individualized.